Welcome back to another cool manga animation tutorial. This video would be
longer than usual.
Yes, you heard that right. We are going to be animating a manga fight animation just like this. This video is beginner friendly, but I still suggest you to watch my previous tutorial where I've covered basics of the tools you are supposed to use to create perfect manga animations. I'll post that video's link in the description as well as in the cards. So check it out if you are new to After Effects. I'll still be covering basics in this video, so it shouldn't be a trouble for learners like you. You guys were awesome enough to watch it till here. Here's 10 Ronix points. Let's jump straight into the video without wasting much time. First off, create a new composition and name it whatever you want. Use the standard HD settings which I've used. I prefer frame rate 60 for smoother animations. Adjust the start time code and duration to any number depending on how long your animation will be. Set the background color to black since it'll be contrast to the white manga panels. Once you are comfortable with the settings, hit OK. I've created as many layers I require according to the number of body parts I'm gonna move. Name each layer for easier access and to reduce confusion. To create such layers, just press Ctrl+D and it'll duplicate the layer. If you are struggling in this part, just watch my previous tutorial where I've covered this in detail. Once you've created and renamed the layers, don't forget to reorder them as well. For example, in this scene from One Punch Man, Flash should be on top of the layer because he is in front of the two villains. Make sure you check out how I have reordered the layers before getting to next process of masking. Let us now begin masking. Select the layer you want to mask first. In my case, I'm choosing Flash Hair 1. Then select the Pen tool from the top. I'm not going to elaborate how masking works since it's easy. If you are completely new, you can check my previous video then come back to this section. I'm speeding up the masking part. Our first layer is masked successfully. Similarly, select the next layer and continue masking. Now mask out Flash mouth layer. Now I'm masking out both his eyeballs separately. My goal is to make an eye animation like this. Let's mask the head now. Now we'll mask out his cape because we will be animating it. Don't worry about the text or the head being covered in the mask. We'll deal with it in the painting section of this video. Now we are left with 3 more layers to mask. They are easy to mask as well. Just follow along with me. We masked the character Flash successfully. We are left with masking out the two villains in the back. Observe the two villains. They clearly have two simple parts. Their bodies are sliced into two, the upper body and the lower body. So all we need is 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 layers. But I decided to animate one of the villain's hair because it had some good detail in it. It's completely optional. You could simply have 2 layers, namely upper body and lower body for each villain. I'm just reordering the layers here according to how it should be. The head of the villain should be below his hair, followed by upper body and followed by lower body. After reordering it properly, we'll continue masking out the villain's layers. All of our layers are now masked. If you guys watched till here, congratulations! You are one of the top 5% who dedicated so much time to mask out all the layers with patience. Now we are entering into the painting section. We will be using the paint tool to do this. In this process, we'll paint off unnecessary elements, texts, or overlapping of other layers. First layer which we are gonna paint is Flash Head. This is because we have separate layers for eyeballs and mouth. But the eyeballs and mouth are present in the head layer which needs to be erased, so double-click the head layer. Choose the pen tool and start painting. You can change the color of the brush by holding Alt key then left-click on the color you want to pick its color. Or you could use the right panels to adjust brush size and its color. Here I had to change the brush's color again to erase the right side of his mouth due to its shadow. Now the mouth is erased from the head layer. Do the same process to remove his eyeballs from the head layer. Next up, I'm erasing the leftover hair present in the head layer as well. This is optional, but it might overlap during animation, so it's best to erase it. Perfect. Pay attention to the next painting process because we want to paint the cape layer. The cape layers contains the whole face and hairs of Flash. Follow to see how I erase them completely from the cape layer. We'll start removing the text which is being overlapped in Flash hand and legs. The painting process of Flash is officially complete. Now notice in the back, the villain's head has an overlapping of Flash's hair. This will affect while animating the villain. We'll remove Flash hair from the villain's head and hair layers. Now we are getting into the most awaited part, the animation. Without wasting time, we'll continue with the animation process. In my previous video, I had used the classic way of animating the hair, which was easy and good, but the movements wouldn't look so much professional. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use an After Effects rig script file to add smooth movements to your hair. I've attached this AE script file along with the free project file. You can find the project file link in the description as well as the pinned comment section. So before proceeding to the animation part, I suggest you download the project file. Or if you prefer the classic way of animating the hair, you can watch my previous tutorial and follow the steps I've mentioned there. If you have downloaded the project file, perfect, you can now proceed animating along with me. I've created a white solid layer in the end of all layers. This panel had a white background in prior, so I did this. If you are wondering how to add custom backgrounds, effects, and composition, I'll make another video covering it. This video would get longer and obviously boring if I cover those concepts here. Now let's see how to animate the hair using After Effects script file. The initial process is exactly same like the classic way. Select the hair layer, select the puppet pin tool, and set pins in the layer. I'm setting many pins on the corners of his hair because I don't want it to be affected by the movement. Only the hair which is detached from his head will be moving. Now listen closely. Once you've set the pins, click the layer, hit U on the keyboard. This will open up the keyframes for each puppet pin we have set. Now what you are supposed to do is deselect the keyframes which we don't want to move at all. This is mandatory to do, so that when we run the After Effects script file, the deselect pins will be unaffected and only the selected pins will move. To know which keyframe belongs to what pin, click each puppet pin effect. You'll see the pin highlighted on the screen. Currently, I only have 5 puppet pins selected which is supposed to move. Once you're done, select the hair layer, go to File, hover over to Scripts, click Run Script. Now open my project file and head over to Scripts folder. Open the AFP Hair Rig folder and select the script file. In the pop-up, make sure puppet pins are checked, then hit Run. Now a master controller will be created. You don't have to alter or do anything. Now play your video to see the movement applied to your hair. If you get a problem here, the reason must be your keyframes. As I said, you have to deselect keyframes which should be ignored by the script. You can undo the process and deselect the keyframes and run the script file again. The movement looks smooth and more professional while using a script. Do the exact same process for the other hair. I'm speeding up this part. Alright, now we are gonna animate the mouth layer. You can animate it in however way you want. To do this, set pins like we normally do, and move 1 to 2 seconds apart on the timeline and make your movement. This will create the animation. After this, click the layer. Hit U on the keyboard. This will open up the keyframes. Select all the keyframes. Hit F9 on the keyboard to make the keyframes easy ease in. Then go to the graph editor. Now follow my similar graph. This graph would give a fast speed ramp. Now I will show you how to animate your eyeballs like this example. We won't have to use Puppet Pin tool here. All we need is position. Click the layer. Hit P on the keyboard. And change the position similar to me. Here I'm not moving the timeline 1 to 2 seconds apart. Instead I'm moving it in millisecond so that we'll get a fast movement. Copy-paste the keyframes so we'll get a loop. Do the same process for the other eyeball. Before starting animating our next layer, I'll introduce you to the concept of pre-composition. Most of you'd already know this. If you do, you can fast forward few seconds to the next part. For the ones who are confused, I'm going to be explaining it. Now that we've animated Flash's hair, eyeballs, and mouth, all of these layers are actually part of his head, right? Obviously, a human head contains eyes, mouth, nose, and a hair as well. So after animating each of these layers can be grouped together as the head. This is generally optional, but to add more details to your animation, pre-composition is necessary. Now in our example, I'm pre-composing all the layers into one named Flash head. To pre-compose, select all your layers, right-click, and choose Pre-compose. Include the script while pre-composing. In the pop-up box, check this option and hit OK. Now that I've pre-composed his head completely, I can animate the pre-composed layer however I want. I'm going to give it a small rotation. To open rotation, select the layer and hit R on the keyboard. Then add a keyframe. Then move 1 to 2 seconds apart on the timeline and make your move. Time to animate the cape now. Using the script will ruin the animation of this. So I'll be using the classic way of moving puppet pinpoints to animate the cape. I'm just copying the first set of keyframes and pasting it in the end to create a loop. This is our result so far. Let's give a small movement to his hands and his legs as well. I'll speed up this part. It's easy to follow. Our Flash is officially animated. Time to animate the villains in the back. So look at this villain right now. I won't be using script for this hair because if you want to use script, you should mask out every hair strand separately. But this hair has a very low detail. It'd be a waste of time. I'll be using the classic way and animating this hair layer as a whole. pre-compose the head, hair, and upper body together. Select all the 3 layers. Right-click and pre-compose. So let's analyze how we are gonna animate this villain. He's being slashed. So his upper body part and the lower body part are gonna be moving apart from each other in this way. So all we have to use now is position and rotation to animate this. Follow along on how I animate this. So, to open up both position and rotation at the same time, all you have to do is hit P on the keyboard first to open position. Then hold the Shift key and press R to open the rotation. For the lower body part, I'm gonna add puppet pins and just give a small movement. I'll add position and rotation animation for this as well, to make the animation more dynamic and realistic. To be honest, the head layer was completely pointless for this other villain. I could have simply separated him into 2 layers, namely upper body part and lower body part. Doesn't matter anyway. We'll pre-compose his head together with his upper body, then do similar animation we did for the other villain. This is our animation so far. Now we have a little bit of final touch to perfect this animation. Now the animation looks incomplete because it doesn't look like Flash had slashed them. So in our end result, we wanted Flash to literally slash and come front. We are going to be doing this animation now. It's very simple. To do this, select all of our Flash layers and pre-compose it again, which makes the whole Flash as one single layer. We will be using scale and position to animate him. Before going for scale and position, hold Alt key on the keyboard and select this tool. This will let you change the anchor point. Set the anchor point like this so you'll get the desired animation. After setting anchor point, select your layer. Hit S on the keyboard to open scale. Then hold Shift and hit P on the keyboard to open position. This will open scale and position together. Then make your movements just like me. Let's add the slash effect now. I've attached this green screen along with my project file. Link in video description and pinned comments. You can also use any other green screen effects. Import the green screen and drag it above the villain's layers, but below Flash layer. To remove this green screen, go to the Effects panel and search Keylight. Keylight is an inbuilt After Effects plugin. Choose your green screen layer and double-click Keylight, or you can drag it to your effect controls on your right. Now this settings will be opened. Now in the screen color, use the color picker to pick our green screen's background color. This will remove the green entirely. Now scale and position the slash in the right place. To remove the black shadowy substance we have on our green screen, open Screen Matte and adjust the Clip Black slider. The color of the slash doesn't really give a manga vibe, so we are going to change its color. To do this, go to the Effects bar and search for Fill. Double-click the fill and change the fill to black, which is one of the major color in manga. The manga animation is complete, but I'm gonna add one last feature to make it more cinematic. The cinematic black bars. You'd have noticed my other videos where I've used such black bars to make the scene more intense. We are gonna do the same here. Before creating the black bars, pre-compose all the layers into one single layer named scene, or whatever you like. It's not necessary to pre-compose, but it's always good habit to pre-compose clips this way so you won't mess up anything. Now that all of our layers are pre-composed into one, let's scale the whole scene a bit before adding the black bars. Select the pre-composed layer and hit S on the keyboard to open up scales and adjust it. Right-click and create a new solid layer. Change its color to black. Now head over to the effects bar and search for CC Jaws. Double-click CC Jaws or drag it to the effects control. So in this settings box, change the height to 0%. Then adjust the completion according to your scene. Now this is optional. You can add animation to the black bars as well. It's very simple. Just click the clock icon next to completion to create a keyframe. Make sure you are at the start of the timeline. Then move few seconds on the timeline and change the completion again. Now click the layer and hit U on the keyboard to open up keyframes. As usual, you can ease them and adjust the graph. And that is it for this tutorial. If you made it till here, you are incredible. If you had any issues or doubts midway, you can ask me on the comments section specifying the timestamp of this video, and I'll be happy to help you. I'll reply to every single comment. Or if you have any doubts which is even more specific, join my Discord server and locate this channel and just mention me and ask your issues. Join the Discord server so you can meet other people who can help you as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more of such tutorials in the future. Until next time, it's Roni, signing off.